This film is a sequel to An American Werewolf in London and stars Tom Everett Scott and Julie Delpy as Andy McDermott and Seraphine Piggott, respectively. Andy's life changes once he literally falls for a woman named Seraphine who had just jumped to her death from the Eiffel Tower. Luckily, he and a few friends already had the gear to bungee jump. Upon letting her go, just mere feet from the ground, he flings back up and hits a beam, concussing him and knocking him out. The only thing he has from her is her shoe, of which she had left behind. He tracks her down at her home to return the shoe and eventually coaxes her into meeting with him in front of the concert hall. There, she thanks him for saving her life. Eventually, Andy and his friends get invited to a party from a man named Claude in an old, abandoned cathedral where all the hosts, including Claude, turns out to be werewolves. One of Andy's friends is attacked and killed, but Andy survives, but is wounded. He wakes up in Seraphine's home and she tells him he is a werewolf, and that she is too.
It was a werewolf.
He doesn't believe her and ends up transforming and killing another American girl. After waking up nude in the public, he is arrested, but averts capture by posing as a dead body in a morgue. This is when he is visited by the American girl and his friend who were killed earlier, paying homage to the rules of the first film. Andy has to find the werewolf who infected him, and kill it. Then he has to eat its heart.
Then eat out its heart.
It turns out that Seraphine and her father had made a serum to suppress her lycanthropic cycle, but it had a reverse effect instead. Claude ends up stealing the serum, and Andy and Seraphine go back to the club to get it back. Andy ends up chasing after Claude through the catacombs of the cathedral, and they end up in a train station. Claude's serum runs out and reverts back to normal, and this is when Andy spots a distinctive scar on his shoulder, the werewolf he had stabbed with a metal gate bar before it bit him. After fighting over another serum vial, Andy ends up getting injected and kills and eats Claude's heart. Seraphine and Andy are both free of the curse and they get married and bungee jump off the Statue of Liberty together. Brotherhood of the Wolf is a French film based upon the famous attacks of the Beast of Gévaudan, or pronounced Gavaudin, earlier in this documentary. The film is set in 18th century France, respective to the famous era of the attacks. The film revolves around Grégoire de Fronsac, played by Samuel Le Bihan, and his companion, Manny, played by Marc Dacascos, who arrive in Gévaudan at the beginning of the film to capture the beast. Grégoire is initially skeptical that the beast is a wolf, judging by all the eyewitness accounts describing it as being up to 500 pounds, too big for any wolf he has ever seen. Before they arrive in the city, they encounter a man and his daughter being attacked by a group of soldiers, and Manny defends them both. Later in the film, his skepticisms are increased when he finds steel fang embedded in one of the victims killed by the beast. After the investigation has not brought a stop to the beast, the king's weapon master arrives to put an end to the killings. But the man does not do so. Instead, he kills a regular wolf and orders Fronsac to alter the beast's corpse to look accordingly to the description of eyewitnesses. From here on, it is suggested that the killing of the beast was not to be found in history books, and the truth was kept very quiet. Grégoire continues his hunt for the creature in secret and runs into trouble.
Voyons ce que tu penses de tes griffes.
J'attends et crois-moi. Où est-ce que tu te caches, salope? Je ne supporte pas cet ici. Je vais t'étriper.
This film is about a group of British Army soldiers led by Sergeant Wells, played by Sean Pertwee, training in the Highlands of Scotland when they come across the mutilated remains of a Special Forces unit who were a part of the same training mission. There is only one survivor, a Captain Ryan, played by Liam Cunningham. The only thing he has to offer are cryptic references to what attacked them. Dark shadows of growling silhouettes send them all retreating. Wells is severely injured, having been sliced open on the abdomen and his intestines protruding. They continue their retreat until they meet up with a zoologist who takes them to an old house in the forest. From there, they find out from all the assaults they get that their attackers are actually 8-foot-tall werewolves. From then and there on, the werewolves continue their siege on the home. Private Cooper, played by Kevin McKidd, takes care of his wounded sergeant and takes control of the situation as a makeshift leader of the platoon. After several attempts of luring and escaping, they fail. Captain Ryan of the Special Ops ends up changing into a werewolf and joining the others on the siege of the home. The woman zoologist also turns out to be a traitor and was a werewolf the whole time. She is shot in the face and killed before she transforms, with 3 other werewolves behind her. Private Cooper and Wells make their way upstairs to fend off the remaining assailants, who just don't seem to die. Afterwards, it comes down to Sergeant Wells blowing up the house to kill all of the werewolves, because he himself is turning into one. The only one who survives is Private Cooper, and a dog named Sam. In the credits, it is shown that Private Cooper has told the public about the event through the newspaper with the pictures that were taken throughout the film by a boisterous soldier, using a camera to temporarily blind the werewolves throughout the film.